I glanced at my phone again, hoping for a text from Ethan. "Hey, you're home early," I said when he finally walked through the door, dropping his keys on the counter. He forced a smile, avoiding my eyes. "Yeah, meetings ended sooner than I expected," he replied, brushing past me. I nodded, trying not to show the unease bubbling in my chest. "Everything okay at work?" I asked. He paused just for a second, then shrugged. "Yeah, fine. Just tired." I wanted to believe him, but the way he held his phone like a shield made me doubt. "You've been late a lot this week," I pressed. "Just busy," he muttered, and I let it drop, though my stomach twisted. Later I called Mia, needing someone to hear me, someone I trusted. "He's acting different," I said, pacing my small apartment. "I can feel it. He's hiding something." Mia's voice was calm but firm. "You're reading too much into it," she said, but I could hear her hesitation. "Lila, just be patient. Don't jump to conclusions." I wanted to believe her, but something in Ethan's eyes yesterday at dinner lingered. A flicker of distance I couldn't ignore. That night, I tried to sleep beside him, but he kept checking his phone under the blanket. "Are you texting someone?" I whispered. He laughed softly, a little too sharply. "No, just work stuff." I wanted to believe him again, but my mind replayed the smiles and glances he gave people I didn't know. At breakfast the next day, I asked casually, "Coffee with anyone yesterday?" He frowned, stirring his cup. "Why? Did I forget to tell you?" I forced a smile. "No, just curious." I didn't know why I felt so nervous asking. It should have been normal, but it wasn't. Later, as I walked to work, I replayed every conversation we had, analyzing each laugh and touch. "Am I imagining this?" I muttered aloud, making a passerby glance my way. I remembered Mia's warning and shook my head. Still, a knot of worry grew inside me. At the office, Alex waved and I managed a small smile. "Hey Lila, you okay?" he asked, noting the frown I tried to hide. "Just tired," I said quickly, forcing a laugh. My thoughts kept drifting back to Ethan. His late nights, the sudden secretive tone when he answered my questions, the way he avoided eye contact. I wanted to confront him, but I didn't know if I was ready to face whatever truth might be there. That evening, when he finally called to say he was on his way home, I tried to sound casual. "Traffic bad?" I asked. "Not clear," he said. I forced a smile into the phone, my chest tight. I wanted to trust him, but a small voice whispered inside me that something was off. Still, I hoped, maybe naively, that it was all in my head. I was scrolling through my phone, trying to distract myself from work when a notification popped up from Ethan's account. It wasn't meant for me, I think, but I couldn't look away. My hand shook as I opened the message. "I can't wait to see you tonight, miss you." I stared at the screen, my vision blurring. "No, this isn't real," I whispered. I reread it, heart hammering. The name attached was someone I didn't know, but something in my chest twisted. I felt dizzy and cold. I tried calling Ethan, but my voice came out shaky. "Ethan, we need to talk," I said when he finally answered. "Hey, what's up?" His casual tone made my stomach turn. "This message." I held my phone out like he could see it. "Who is this?" There was a long pause. "What message?" he finally said, voice careful. My hands were trembling. "The one from last night, don't lie." I saw it. I could hear him inhale sharply. "Lila, it's not what it looks like." I laughed bitterly, anger and disbelief mixing. "Not what it looks like. Ethan, you're cheating on me." "I'm not cheating, I don't know, it's complicated," he stammered. "Complicated? Is that your excuse?" I felt tears burn my eyes. I couldn't breathe properly. "I trusted you," I shouted. "You're lying." "No, Lila, please let me explain," he said, but his words sounded empty. "Explain what?" "That you've been lying while I thought I had the perfect boyfriend." I paced the apartment, gripping my phone. I can't believe I missed it. All those late nights, those excuses. "You're imagining things, Lila. You're letting this control you," he said. His calmness enraged me more. "Imagining? I have proof," I yelled, throwing the phone onto the couch. Silence followed for a moment. "Lila, listen, I didn't mean for it to happen. It was a mistake." "A mistake? You call betrayal a mistake?" I sank into the chair, heart aching. "You destroyed everything we had." I couldn't stop the tears now. I called Mia immediately, voice cracking. Mia, I saw a message from him. He's cheating. She gasped softly, but her voice stayed steady. Lila, breathe. I know it's hard, but don't do anything rash. Are you okay? I don't know. I wailed. I feel so stupid, like I missed every warning. It's not your fault. He made the choice, Mia said gently. You need to calm down before you confront him more. Think carefully. But how can I think when everything inside me is screaming? I cried. I trusted him with my heart. I know it hurts, she whispered. Just remember you're not alone. We'll figure this out. I hung up and stared at the empty room, feeling hollow. Ethan finally walked in, acting casual. Lila, we need to talk about this, he said. I looked at him, my hands shaking. Talk? You lied, Ethan. Every word before this was a lie. He didn't meet my eyes. I shook my head. Don't. I can't even look at you right now. My chest felt heavy, my mind spinning with betrayal, disbelief, and an ache I'd never felt before. I realized I didn't recognize the person I loved anymore. I barely answered my phone all week. Hey Lila, you okay? Mia's voice came through, gentle but worried. I'm fine, I mumbled, staring at my reflection in the darkened window. You don't sound fine, she said softly. I need space, I whispered. She sighed. I get it, but don't shut everyone out. You're stronger than you think. I wanted to argue, but the truth was I didn't feel strong at all. At work, Alex noticed me lingering by the copier longer than usual. Lila, you look tired, he said, sliding a coffee across the counter. Thanks, I murmured, unsure why I was letting him see me like this. If you want to talk, I'm here, he added. I shook my head but felt a small warmth. I don't even know where to start, I admitted. Just say what you feel, he encouraged. I hesitated, then whispered. He cheated, Ethan. I trusted him. Alex nodded slowly, eyes kind. I'm sorry, Lila. That's a lot to carry alone. I don't know how I missed the signs, I said, biting my lip. Maybe you were too trusting, he offered gently. Too trusting, yes, that sounds right, I said, letting out a shaky laugh. Later at my apartment, I avoided my phone. Every message from Ethan felt like a knife twisting deeper. Why did I let myself believe him? I muttered aloud. Mia called again. Talk to me, Lila, she said. I don't want to talk, I replied, voice trembling. Just sit with me for a minute. Please, she asked softly. I closed my eyes and let her stay on the line while I tried to breathe. At the office the next day, Alex approached again. Hey, you're not avoiding me today, he teased lightly. I managed a weak smile. Trying not to. He leaned on the desk. You know, everyone has flaws and everyone makes mistakes. But you don't have to carry someone else's, he said. I feel like I'm broken, I admitted. No, you're healing. That's different, he replied. I felt a small spark of something, hope maybe flicker inside me. That evening I went for a walk, replaying memories with Ethan, searching for every moment I missed. Was I blind or just in love? I whispered. My chest ached, but a strange calm settled over me. When I returned, Alex sent a message. Hope you're okay. Don't forget I'm here. I stared at it, heart tight but steadying. I typed back, thanks, it means a lot. For the first time in days, I felt seen, understood. The betrayal still burned, but maybe, just maybe, I could start walking through this fire without being consumed by it. Mia called again that night. Are you eating? She asked. A little, I said. Good. Remember, I'm here, she reminded me. I know, I whispered. For the first time, I didn't feel entirely alone. My phone buzzed again. Lila, please, I need to talk, Ethan's message read. I stared at it, jaw tight. I typed, deleted, typed again. I wasn't ready. Not now. Not ever. I remembered the first time I trusted him completely. How his laugh made me feel safe. How could I have been so blind? I whispered to myself. Mia's voice came through in my memory. You need to protect yourself, Lila. I shook my head, trying to quiet the ache. Later, when he called, I let it ring. Twice. Why won't you answer? His voice pleaded on voicemail. Because I can't, I whispered, gripping my journal. I'd started writing everything down, letting my thoughts spill onto paper instead of him. I can't keep letting him in, I muttered. The page stared back at me, blank at first, then filled with rage, heartbreak, and truth. You lied, I wrote. I trusted you. Every word made my hands shake but also made me feel alive. My phone buzzed again. Please, Lila, I made a mistake. I was wrong. I love you, Ethan's text said. I laughed bitterly, though it tasted sour. Love? That's not love, I whispered. Flashbacks hit me suddenly. The late-night messages, the excuses, the way he avoided my eyes. I was too trusting, too naive, I admitted aloud. Mia called, her calm voice steadying me. Are you okay? She asked. I'm trying, I said. I can't forgive him. Not yet. Not maybe ever. Then don't. Focus on you. That's what matters now, she said. Her words gave me strength. At work, Alex noticed my silence. Lila, you okay? He asked. I'm handling things, I replied. He nodded and didn't push. Sometimes strength was silent. That night, I wrote more in my journal. I deserve better. I am stronger than his lies. I could feel the weight lifting little by little. Ethan texted again, pleading, promising change. I didn't reply. I will not give him that power, I said firmly. The phone lay on the counter untouched. Later, I remembered the small moments with Ethan. The way he whispered sweet things, how I let myself believe in a future we would never have. It's okay to feel hurt, I whispered to myself, but it's also okay to move on. Mia called again. Good, she said when I picked up. I'm proud of you. You're choosing yourself. I felt tears, but they were cleansing, not just painful. I closed my journal. This is my life, my choices, I said, feeling a flicker of control. Ethan could try to reach me, but I was reclaiming my power one decision at a time. I didn't need him to validate my worth anymore. That night I lay awake, heart still aching but steadying, whispering to myself, I will heal. I will rise. I walked into the office, coffee in hand, trying to shake off the lingering sadness. Morning, Lila, Daniel greeted, his warm smile easing some of my tension. Hey, Daniel, I replied, forcing a smile. He leaned over my desk. How's everything going? You seem distracted. I shrugged, not ready to share. Just a lot on my mind. He nodded knowingly. I understand. Remember, it's okay to take your time. His calm presence reminded me I wasn't completely alone. Across the room, Sophia's eyes flicked toward me, a small smirk tugging at her lips. Lila, did you handle the Peterson file? She asked, voice syrupy. I was going to start it today, I replied cautiously. Oh, I just assumed you'd forgotten, she said lightly, tilting her head. My stomach tightened, but I forced myself not to react. I'll get to it right after lunch, I said, keeping my tone neutral. Sophia laughed softly, almost mockingly. Good. Wouldn't want anyone else to think I'm carrying all the work. I clenched my jaw. Why does she have to make everything feel like a trap? I thought. Later, Daniel stopped by again. How's the file coming? He asked gently. It's fine, I replied. Need any help? He offered. Actually, yes, I admitted, relieved. I'm still getting used to the process. That's okay. Everyone starts somewhere, he said kindly. I felt a spark of confidence I hadn't had in days. Sophia hovered nearby again. Oh, you're getting help now? Figured you could manage alone, she said, eyes sharp. I always appreciate guidance, I replied smoothly. It helps me do my best. She scoffed softly and walked away, and I exhaled slowly. I can't let her get to me, I thought. My trust in people was fragile after Ethan, but Daniel reminded me that not everyone was out to hurt me. During lunch, he sat with me. Lila, you're carrying a lot of weight inside, he said quietly. I am, I admitted. I don't know who to trust anymore. He nodded. It's understandable, but you can start small. Trust actions, not just words. Let people prove themselves. I considered this, feeling a small shift. In the afternoon, Sophia subtly moved papers on my desk, and I caught her glance. Careful, I said softly. Don't underestimate me. She raised an eyebrow. I'm not trying to, she said, tone laced with sarcasm. I turned back to my work, heart racing but steadying. Later, Daniel stopped by once more. You're handling her well, he said quietly. Thanks, I said, trying to sound confident. It's a challenge. I realized my strength was growing, even under pressure. At the end of the day, as I packed my things, I whispered to myself, I can handle this. I will be careful, but I won't let fear control me. Sophia walked past, eyes narrowing, and Daniel gave me a small nod of encouragement. I smiled faintly. I'm learning to trust again, carefully, I thought, feeling a spark of hope amidst the tension. I watched from across the cafe as Ethan laughed with people I didn't know, pretending nothing had happened. So this is what it feels like to see him exposed, I whispered to myself. I sipped my coffee, careful not to draw attention. Lila, you okay? Mia's voice came through my earpiece. Yeah, just observing, I said softly. She chuckled. You sound like a spy. Maybe I am, I replied, hiding a small smile. Later, I overheard him bragging to a colleague about a project he barely contributed to. He's so full of himself, I muttered. My fingers itched to do something, to let him realize how fragile his world had become. I started planting small suggestions with mutual coworkers, nudging them to double-check his claims. Ethan mentioned he handled the Henderson file himself, I said casually to Sarah, one of his teammates. Really? I thought I was part of that, she replied, frowning. Maybe you should review the notes, I suggested lightly. The next week, I watched subtle chaos unfold as his mistakes became apparent. Ethan, can you clarify this? The numbers don't match, Sarah asked during a meeting. His confident smile faltered. I'll fix it, he muttered, voice tight. I felt a pang of guilt but also satisfaction. That evening Mia called. Lila, I know what you're doing, she said softly. I am, I admitted. It's not right, but I can't stop. Be careful, she warned. Don't let revenge consume you. I sighed. I know. I want him to feel a fraction of the chaos he caused me. At a company mixer, Ethan tried to impress a group with stories I knew were exaggerated. I casually whispered reminders to the right people. Are you sure that's how it happened? One asked. He stumbled over his words and I felt a tight thrill in my chest. Careful, I murmured to myself. This is just the beginning. Yet guilt crept in. Am I better than him or am I sinking into his level? I wondered. That night I wrote in my journal, fingers gripping the pen. I don't want to be cruel, but justice feels satisfying. I wrote. I will stay careful, ethical, but I need him to see consequences. The next day, Ethan confronted me briefly in the hallway. Lila, I don't know what's happening, but things feel off, he said, frowning. I smiled faintly. Maybe you should start paying attention to how your actions affect others, I said, voice calm. He blinked, startled, then walked away. My chest tightened. The thrill of seeing him unravel mingled with a heavy awareness of my own morality. At lunch I confided in Alex. I'm trying not to lose myself, I said. But I want him to face consequences. He nodded. That's natural. Just don't let the desire for revenge define you. I know, I replied. I'll be careful. By the end of the week, Ethan's charm faltered with coworkers, subtle mistakes piling up. I watched from my desk, hands folded, heartbeat steady. This isn't about him anymore, I whispered. It's about me reclaiming control. As I closed my laptop that evening, I realized revenge was a slippery path, but so far, I was walking it with my eyes wide open. Alex and I stayed late at the office, sorting through reports. You've been quiet lately, he said, leaning against the desk. Just thinking, I muttered. He tilted his head. About him. I flinched slightly but nodded. It's hard not to, I admitted. I understand, he said softly. I went through something similar a few years back. Someone I trusted completely. My heart tightened. You did? I asked quietly. Yeah, he said, voice low. I won't go into details, but I know how it feels to lose someone you loved, to feel betrayed. I swallowed, a lump in my throat. It helps. Hearing that someone else survived it, I whispered. He smiled faintly. You will too. You're stronger than you think. Later, over coffee, I brought up Mia. Mia's been acting strange, I said. She seems distant sometimes. Alex raised an eyebrow. Do you trust her? I do mostly, but something feels off. That evening, I confronted Mia while we walked home. Mia, is there something you're not telling me? I asked. She hesitated, biting her lip. Lila, I dated Ethan years ago. I never told you because I didn't want to hurt you or complicate things, she admitted. I stopped heart racing. You dated him? I asked, my voice sharp. Yes, she said, eyes glistening. It ended before you two met. I never meant for this to hurt you. I felt a swirl of anger, betrayal, and confusion. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted to protect you, she said softly. I swear. I exhaled slowly, trying to calm my racing thoughts. I guess. I understand. It's still hard, though. We walked in silence for a moment. I'm sorry, Lila, she said. I should have been honest sooner. I nodded, my chest heavy but relief seeping in. Thank you for telling me now, I said. By the time we reached my apartment, the tension had eased. Mia hugged me briefly. Friends? She asked. Friends, I replied, smiling faintly. That night Alex sent a message. Hope your evening went okay. Thinking of you. I felt a flutter in my chest. I typed back, it did. Thanks for checking in. My thoughts drifted to him. Why does he make me feel like this, safe and curious at the same time? I whispered aloud. The next morning Alex stopped by with coffee. Morning, he said, holding out the cup. Thanks, I said, feeling warmth bloom inside me. You seem lighter today, he observed. Maybe, I admitted. I think some honesty helped. Mia finally told me the truth about Ethan. He nodded. Truth has a way of freeing us, doesn't it? I smiled faintly. Yes, but it also makes things complicated, I said, voice low. Complicated can be good, he replied softly. My cheeks warmed. Complicated in a good way. Maybe that's what I'm feeling for him, I thought. At work later, we laughed over a minor mistake I'd made in a report. Alex's laugh was easy and comforting. You really didn't need to panic, he said. I know, but I did anyway, I admitted. He smiled. That's why I like working with you. I felt my heart flutter again, torn between caution and curiosity, realizing I was starting to care more than I should, and yet I couldn't stop myself. I overheard Ethan's name at the office today, whispered with annoyance. He messed up the Wilson project again, someone muttered. I felt a flicker of satisfaction, quickly silenced by unease. Is this really what I want? To watch him fall? I whispered to myself. Later Mia called. Lila, are you okay? She asked. I don't know, I admitted. I feel vindicated, but it doesn't feel entirely right. That's normal, she said. Your healing and seeing consequences unfold is part of it. Just don't lose yourself. I nodded silently, chewing on her words. At lunch, I bumped into Alex near the cafeteria. You seem deep in thought, he said, handing me a sandwich. Thanks, I murmured. I am. About Ethan? He asked gently. I hesitated, then nodded. It's strange. Seeing him stumble. I feel relief but also guilt. He shrugged. You can't control his choices, only your reaction. Focus on you. His words lingered as I returned to my desk. That afternoon, Ethan came in late and flustered. Lila, can I talk? He asked. I shook my head, keeping my eyes on my keyboard. No, I said calmly. Not now, not ever. I've moved on from needing your validation. His jaw tightened. You think you're better than me? I finally looked up. I know I am, I said, voice steady. He frowned and walked away. I exhaled slowly. That felt freeing, I thought. Later, Daniel stopped by, noticing my focus. You're really taking charge, he said quietly. I am, I replied. It's time I stop reacting to others and start building my own future. That's the right mindset, he encouraged. Keep it steady and the results will follow. I nodded, feeling a flicker of pride. During the next few days, I organized my projects meticulously, setting small goals. Lila, this report is thorough, Sarah said. Thanks, I replied, smiling. I'm learning to focus, really focus. Sophia approached, her usual smirk in place. Trying to impress everyone again, she said. I met her gaze calmly. I'm just doing my work, I replied. Her smirk faltered and she walked away. I felt a quiet satisfaction but reminded myself, this isn't revenge. This is reclaiming myself. That evening, Alex texted. Coffee tomorrow? I smiled, typing back, sure. Looking forward to it. The thought of spending time with him made me feel alive again. I realized my focus was shifting from betrayal to my own growth. I spent the night planning my week. Workouts, reading, career goals. I can do this, I whispered, pen in hand as I listed my plans. Each item, a step away from the past and toward a stronger me. My phone buzzed with Ethan's messages, all ignored. I don't need him, I whispered, heart steady. By the end of the week, I felt a sense of power I hadn't known in months. Ethan's missteps continued, but I didn't watch as closely anymore. Instead, I felt proud of my own achievements. A completed project, a workout routine, a healthy boundary established. Mia called that night. You sound lighter, she said. I am, I admitted. I finally feel like I'm steering my life. Alex sent a message. Proud of you. I typed back, smiling, thanks. Feels good to finally be in control. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt centered, capable, and free. I sat at my desk staring at my phone, torn. Alex had sent a message this morning. Coffee later? My chest fluttered at the thought, but then Ethan's face flashed in my mind, apologetic, desperate. Why do I even care? I whispered aloud. The office phone rang and I jumped. Lila, it's Ethan, he said, voice low and trembling. Please, can we talk? I clenched my fists. Why, Ethan? What more do you have to say? I was wrong. I can't stop thinking about you. I need you to forgive me, he said. My heart ached despite my resolve. Forgive you? After everything? I asked, voice shaking. I'll do anything, he pleaded. I felt anger and sadness swirl inside me. I can't, not yet. Maybe never, I whispered. He groaned softly, then sighed. I understand. I just had to try, he said before hanging up. I exhaled, fighting tears. Later, Alex appeared at my desk with a grin. Hey, you look like you've been through a storm. Something like that, I admitted. Want to grab that coffee? He asked. I hesitated, torn between lingering hurt and a new hope. Yeah, I'd like that, I said finally. We walked to the cafe, our conversation light at first, but every laugh made my chest feel warmer. I'm glad we're doing this, he said. Me too, I replied softly, stealing a glance at him. At the next meeting, Clara walked in, her confident stride immediately drawing attention. Lila, I hear you're heading the new project, she said, voice smooth. I am, I said, forcing calm. Good luck keeping up, she said with a faint smirk. My stomach twisted, but I straightened my posture. Thanks, Clara. I plan to do well, I said firmly. She raised an eyebrow, then moved on. I whispered to myself I won't let her shake me. Later that evening, Alex and I sat in the cafe talking quietly. You've been distant, he said gently. It's complicated, I admitted. I'm not sure if I'm ready to trust again, I confessed. He nodded slowly. I understand. You don't have to rush. Just be honest with yourself. I'm trying, I said, heart pounding. And I like you, Lila, more than I should, he admitted. My chest warmed, but fear lingered. I like you too, I whispered. Yet guilt followed immediately, thoughts of Ethan clawing at me. Later, I stared at my reflection in the dark window. Forgive, trust, move forward, but how? I whispered. The tension inside me was almost unbearable, but beneath it, a quiet certainty emerged. I would decide for myself when and how to open my heart again. Ethan's apologies didn't dictate my worth, and Alex's kindness wasn't a replacement for my self-respect. I inhaled deeply, whispering one final thought to myself. I will choose carefully, and I will protect my heart. I sat at my desk, coffee cooling beside me, watching the chaos unfold. Did you see Ethan's presentation? Sarah whispered, eyes wide. He completely messed up. I nodded, heart tightening with a mix of satisfaction and unease. Is this really justice? Or am I just enjoying the downfall? I whispered to myself. Later, Daniel stopped by. You're noticing the ripple effect, he said. Yes, I admitted. It's unsettling but also necessary. He nodded. Sometimes watching consequences play out teaches more than confrontation ever could. Across the office, Sophia strode in, confident as ever. Lila, I heard about the Henderson file. Interesting mistakes, she said, voice sly. I suppose everyone has their off days, I replied, calm. Her smirk faltered slightly, but she didn't back down. Or maybe some people just can't handle responsibility, I added lightly. Her cheeks flushed and she looked away. Finally, her mask slips, I thought, feeling a quiet thrill. At lunch, Alex joined me, sliding a sandwich across the table. You look relieved, he said. I am in a way, I admitted. It's strange, though. Seeing him falter. It feels satisfying but also heavy. That's natural, he said, voice warm. You're reclaiming control, not just watching revenge. I smiled faintly. Yes. I realize it's never been just about him. It's about me, my dignity, my choices. That afternoon, Ethan stumbled through a meeting, fumbling numbers, forgetting key points. Ethan, can you clarify? Someone asked. He blinked, voice tight. Yes, I'll fix it. I exhaled slowly, the tension in my chest easing slightly. Mia called me later. Are you okay? She asked. I am, I said softly. I realize I don't need to revel in his mistakes. I just needed to see that I'm worth more than his lies. Good, she said warmly. That's the Lila I know. At my desk, I opened a message from Alex. Coffee after work? I typed back, definitely. See you. His support reminded me that my happiness wasn't dependent on Ethan's failures. I glanced at Sophia, who was visibly frustrated after her own schemes backfired. Emails she tried to manipulate returned to her, exposing her errors. Sometimes people create their own traps, I whispered. Later, Ethan approached my desk, face pale. Lila. I interrupted. I don't need your apologies. I've moved on and you should too. His shoulders slumped, and he walked away without another word. I felt a calm settle over me, heavier than any satisfaction. Alex appeared, gently nudging my shoulder. You okay? He asked. I am, I said, looking at him. This feels like closure, but also a new beginning. You've earned it, he said softly. I exhaled, smiling. I realized now my revenge wasn't about making him suffer. It was about reclaiming myself, my self-worth, and my choices. We walked out of the office together, shoulders brushing slightly, and I felt a spark of hope and strength. For the first time in months, I felt in control, centered, empowered, and ready to move forward, with or without anyone else dictating my happiness. I woke up early, stretching and feeling lighter than I had in months. Mia called right away. Morning, Lila. Ready for our hike? She asked cheerfully. I am, I replied, smiling. We walked together, laughing about old office mishaps. You've changed, she said. I can see it. I feel it too, I admitted. It's like I'm finally in control of my life, not reacting to everyone else's mistakes. Later, Daniel stopped by the cafe near work. Lila, I wanted to discuss the promotion opportunity, he said. I'm all ears, I replied. He smiled. Your focus and resilience have really shown. I think you're ready to lead the new project. My chest swelled with pride. Thank you, Daniel. That means a lot. He nodded. Remember, you've earned this through your own strength, not because of anyone else. I couldn't help but think of Ethan, wondering if he would ever understand what he had lost. That afternoon, Alex appeared at my desk. Coffee later? He asked, eyes hopeful. Absolutely, I said, my heart skipping a beat. We sat across from each other, sharing quiet conversation. You've been incredible, Lila, he said. I don't just mean at work. I smiled softly. I've had great support. You, Mia, and Daniel. You've all helped me more than I can say. He reached across the table, taking my hand gently. And I'm not going anywhere. I felt warmth spread through me, a mix of affection and trust. Later, I glanced at my phone to see a message from Ethan. Can we talk? I've changed. I regret everything. I stared at it for a moment, heart tight, then deleted it. Closure feels good, I whispered to myself. I didn't need his apology anymore. I had grown stronger, and my peace didn't depend on him. Sophia walked past my desk, glancing nervously in my direction. I offered a small smile. I'm glad we're past that tension, I said lightly. She nodded awkwardly. Yes, me too. The small interaction reminded me how far I'd come. At the end of the week, Mia and I shared dinner. You're glowing, she said. It feels like everything finally settled. I laughed softly. It does. I'm learning to let go and focus on what matters, My growth, my happiness, my choices. Alex joined us later, sitting beside me. I love seeing you like this, he said, gently brushing my hand. I love you, I whispered back, feeling the words settle naturally, unforced. The future felt open, filled with possibility, and my heart no longer carried the weight of betrayal. As I journaled that night, I wrote, I've learned that strength comes from within, from the choices I make and the love I allow in. I've healed, and I'm ready for everything ahead. My phone buzzed with messages from friends, each one a reminder of the people who mattered, the support I had cultivated. I closed my eyes, breathing deeply. I am enough, I whispered. I am worthy. I am free. And for the first time in a long while, I truly believed it. I woke up to sunlight spilling across my bedroom, feeling lighter than I had in years. Mia's text buzzed. Hike this weekend? I smiled, typing back. Absolutely. Can't wait. She always reminded me of joy in small things. At work, Daniel stopped by with a smile. Ready for the new project? He asked. I am, I said confidently. I feel capable. He nodded. You've earned this. Keep trusting yourself. Later, Alex appeared at my desk with coffee in hand. Morning, Lila, he said warmly. Morning, I replied, heart fluttering. Ready for lunch? He asked. Yes, I said, smiling. Over sandwiches we laughed easily, a rhythm between us that felt natural. I love this, I admitted. Being here with you, no tension, no ghosts of the past. He reached across the table, squeezing my hand. I love this too, he said softly. We can move forward together at our pace. I felt a calm warmth settle over me, a sense of partnership and trust I'd never thought I'd feel again. Later, Clara stopped by my office. Lila, congratulations on leading the project, she said, her tone less sharp than before. Thank you, I replied, smiling. I'm looking forward to seeing it succeed. She nodded, and for the first time I felt no resentment, just a sense of resolution. Sophia, too, had retreated into her own path. I caught her eye briefly, offering a small, genuine smile. I wish you well, I said softly. She paused, then nodded, and I felt the tension dissolve completely. That evening, Alex and I walked through the park, the sky painted in gold and pink. It's beautiful, I whispered. Not as beautiful as this moment, he replied, eyes gentle. I laughed softly. You're sweet. Only because you bring it out of me, he said, smiling. We stopped near a fountain, hands intertwined. I never thought I'd feel safe again, I admitted quietly. And now? He asked. And now? I feel whole, I said, heart steady. I thought about the months I had spent broken, betrayed, and uncertain. The girl who had trusted blindly, the one who had hurt and doubted herself, seemed so far away. You've changed me, he said softly. No, I've changed myself, I replied, squeezing his hand. You've just walked beside me. Later, back at my apartment, I sat with my journal. I am strong. I am worthy. I am ready to love and live on my terms, I wrote. The words felt true, powerful. Mia called again, her laughter echoing through the line. You sound happy, she said. I am, I admitted. Daniel sent a text. Proud of you. I smiled. The sun was setting, and the city looked alive with possibility. I leaned back in my chair, heart full. This is my life now, I whispered. Empowered, loved, free. And as Alex's hand brushed mine in the quiet of the evening, I realized I was no longer the naive, heartbroken girl I once was. I was whole, strong, and ready for every sunrise to come. I walked through the park, the crisp air filling my lungs. Mia's text buzzed. Thinking of you. I smiled, typing back, thinking of you too. It reminded me how far I'd come. Sitting on a bench, I thought about Ethan. A cautionary memory, I whispered aloud. I recalled his lies, his charm, the heartbreak. I've learned from you, I murmured as if he could hear me. Not bitterness, strength. Later, Alex joined me, carrying 2 coffees. Thought you might need a warm one, he said, smiling. Thanks, I replied. I was reflecting. He sat beside me. About him? He asked gently. I nodded. Ethan, he taught me to trust carefully, to value myself. I won't deny the pain, but I can't carry it anymore. He squeezed my hand. And you're free to choose what you carry now. I smiled softly. Yes. Free and stronger than I knew. The wind rustled leaves as I thought about karma. It's strange, I said aloud, seeing how his actions caught up to him. It's justice, but without my hand guiding it. Alex nodded. Life has its way of balancing itself, he said. You didn't need to orchestrate it. I know, I whispered. It's comforting to see that, finally. Later I called Mia. I've been thinking, I said, about everything we've been through. Me too, she replied. I feel like we've grown together, not just individually. Exactly, I said. I've learned the value of loyalty, honesty, and speaking the truth, even when it's hard. That afternoon, I stopped by Daniel's office. I wanted to thank you, I said, for guidance, patience, for helping me see my own strength. He smiled warmly. You had it in you all along. I just helped you notice. I chuckled softly. I guess I needed reminders. At home later, Alex and I sat quietly sipping tea. Do you ever think about the past? He asked. I do, I said. But now I see it clearly, not as a chain but as lessons. He nodded. And now? I took a deep breath. Now, I'm open, cautious, and resilient. I know my worth, my strength, and the power of letting karma and self-growth guide me. He smiled, eyes soft. You've become incredible, Lila. I blushed faintly, squeezing his hand. I've become me, I whispered. That night I opened my journal, writing. I faced heartbreak, betrayal, and doubt. I learned to trust myself, to stand tall, and to embrace growth. Karma is real, but so is resilience. I am stronger than my past, freer than my fears. I closed the journal, feeling weight lift from my shoulders. The city lights shimmered outside, and I whispered to myself, I am whole. I am free. I am ready for every tomorrow.